So as you start working with the light boards, one thing to think about is looking at the screen in kind of 3 separate zones. So primarily when we start doing this, I'm going to work in what I call zone 1. This is the area, the third of the screen on my dominant hand side, and I can start putting content in there. So I can start writing here, I can draw graphics, things like that. We're going to think of zone 2 as this kind of middle zone, and then we have a zone 3. Now we can write in zone 3, but you're going to find it's very cross-body, very complicated. You know, it doesn't work very well. I like to use zone 3 for pre-inserted material, stuff that I may refer to or draw on briefly, but I'm primarily going to be writing in this zone. Additionally, if we've got more material to write, we can look at zone 1 for our first material, and then zone 2, we're going to step into zone 3 and start writing material in zone 2. So this gives us 2 kind of complete screens to go to as a way of moving over. If you're going to use more real estate than that, typically it's a better idea to make multiple videos. So break your material down into smaller parts so that I'm not stuck here erasing a bunch of stuff. If you do have to erase, think about pausing, erase the material, come back to that position, and then you can edit that piece out. Additionally, I can add graphics. This is one way we can add it, but this doesn't work very well. If we're talking about this image, this is an image with a black background. Anything in black in your presentation is going to show up clear. I'm going to see through it. So this happens to be a map with yellow lines and black background, so I'm behind it. And so I can point out things on the map. I can point to 2 cities. I can talk about a trip that goes down like this. We all know where that ends up. You know, those type of things. But really standing behind the map, it makes the image larger, but it's kind of annoying to see. Also notice I've got my image in one kind of color zone, and I'm using something that's a different kind of tone to it, so pink versus yellow. This is what the image looks like. This is on a white background in PowerPoint, or in this case Google Slides. This is a black image. So I just want to show you, if I included the black background, it would just look like it's floating in space. So anything with a black background or no black background placed on a black background will work. Still not the best way to do this. Another thing that we can do is we've given ourselves that space to work in. I've still put the graphic on my dominant hand side, which is kind of a signal that I'm going to be drawing inside the graphic. So not just text here, I'm going to be using this as a starting point. It could be musical scales, it could be a Cartesian coordinate system, it could be the start of a graph that I want to talk around. And so I can step briefly over and draw lines. We're going to go over to this state, that type of thing, and then step back for most of my presentation. So this is another way to kind of do that. Transversely, let's say that I have an image or graphic that I'm not really going to draw on. I'm not going to do a lot of stuff over here, but I'm going to refer to this. So part A would maybe refer to North Carolina, and then we would talk about it a little bit. B might be South Carolina, so I'm going to put that in there, and then I'll list something. So I'm writing over here, this is the interactive part, this is just an image that I'm going to refer to. I would put that over to the side. Additionally, it's very easy. Any graphic will go in. Because this is a solid color graphic, I can't mark on it. The eyes are clear, so I can write on those because they are black in the image. So the lightboard software is making those transparent. But anything that's a solid image, you won't be able to put marks behind it. That just simply won't show up. Additionally, remember, I want to re-stress this, leave this bottom area clear for closed captions. So I try not to write, and typically if you really feel how it works, I can write up to what's comfortable. That's the top of my board because we've adjusted it, and I really don't want to write much more than below shoulder height. If I get down below this, it's really hard for me to hold my hand. It's not natural to write in that position. So you're going to have a tendency not to put a lot of stuff along the bottom, but just keep that in mind for closed captioning purposes.